You've seen him for years as Hollywood's bad guy on TV and in movies. Now, listen to him right here. Here's your host, the multi-talented Jasper Cole.
Woohoo! Howdy, 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 and welcome to On the Set with Jasper Cole. This is your host, Jasper. Oh, wow. How about that? Thank you so much. We have a wonderful studio audience here. That's non-existent in my head only, voices only. Anyway, welcome back, everybody. I am glad to be back from Mexico City. Hola, ¿cómo está? Muy bien. Poquito, mucho dinero, poquito putas. That's what I learned in Mexico City. You are coming to us today, and we're coming to you this beautiful Sunday, coming live from Sunset Gower Studios right here in Hollywood, California. And before I can say anything, I have to say, everyone, yesterday was a very special day because it was on 40 years ago.
Thank you.
I'm being kind. My way too gay sidekick, Ralph Cole Jr., came into the world, and so we have to say, happy birthday to you.
Thank you, Jasper.
Happy
Thank you,
birthday
Planet
to,
Earth.
I'm not finished, to you. Happy birthday, Miss Ralph Cole Jr. Happy birthday to you.
Yay!
Woo!
Jasper, that was resounding.
Ralph, I hope you had a wonderful birthday.
I had a terrific birthday. I'm fierce. I'm 55. Gonna
Oh my God,
continue
black
to
don't crack.
thrive.
Black don't crack.
It doesn't, and I feel great. And thank you, Becky. That voice you just heard
Take it away, Ralph.
is our fabulous guest co-host today, the very lovely Becky Canady.
Yes, indeed. Woo!
She is subbing for our lovely Dara Zane Scully, who is in absentia this week because...
Allegedly, she's in New York City, but of course we haven't been able to verify that yet. But we do want to send a big shout out to Dara and Kevin and the boys. They are in NYC. I'm sure the credit cards are being used for a little shopping, but they're going to a baseball game. They're going to see Tom Hanks' Broadway play, and I don't know what else they're doing.
Oh,
so,
great. So welcome for
welcome
Becky.
to Becky as a return guest, and now she's coming back as our very special co-host, because y'all know Becky and I go way back.
Way back.
It's her fault that I'm here, actually.
Or wait, it was the other way around.
I was going to say, I think it's my fault that she's in L.A., but either way, it all worked out because almost 26 years ago, we came and... Hey, all right, listen, our very special guest has just arrived, Jason Rosell. Hey, buddy. How are you? We just started. We thought...
I got lost coming here, so...
Hey, Jason, welcome back.
What's up, mister?
You remember
Nice to
Ralph?
see-
Of course I do.
Welcome.
This is our special co-host, Becky Canady.
Hi, Jason.
This is Jason.
Nice to meet you.
Put your earphones on so we can hear how we're all applauding you. And welcome back. I was just saying, Becky and I, we moved here 26 years ago together from Georgia. And it's been quite a journey, wouldn't you say?
Quite a journey, huh?
Yeah.
It hasn't been quite 26 years.
It will be in
know.
September. You know, I tend, I round
jump
everything up and she goes back.
Exactly.
So that's what we do. But irregardless, Becky's an amazing writer and took a little break to be a mother and still is a mother.
I still am.
Still is a wife and mother. But you've now written your first book.
Yeah, my first novel.
Yeah, tell us about it.
It's a Southern fiction called Just As I Am, set in 1962.
Wow.
And it's, I like to think of it as funny as well as poignant. And it has those eccentric Southern characters. And
What's your specialty?
Yeah, and it's all about, food, the Southern love of food and language and family. And there's a publisher that I desperately want. It's the only one I've submitted to, and I'm just praying every day that they'll decide they want to publish this.
But you've done it. It's out there.
It's out there with one publisher.
Okay.
So Bell Books, if you're listening.
I was going to say, do we need to put that out there, right? Bell Books. Bell Books.
Yeah.
Put it out. Ralph, do you know anyone at Bell Books?
No, not right now, but I'll
Could
get
you
on
get
that,
on that
Becky. Yeah.
on
Do
Twitter
that.
and Facebook and
Yes, I will.
Ralph.
Google
I'll make
that
some
and
connections.
see what you
Okay.
can find? Yeah, that would be great. Well, Jason, buddy, welcome back. Jason was one of our guests over at our other studio in Sunset Bronson, and that's been like almost 2 years now.
Yeah, time flies.
Yeah.
It's scary. In
And
a good way.
Yeah, definitely. And
And,
you keep yourself busy.
Yes.
Yeah. Everyone, first of all, Jason's website is www.jasonrosell.com. But this is the businessman in Hollywood. I can't even begin to tell you, between acting, producing, fitness host, reality star, and now pop singer. Is there anything left that you're directing also, right?
I do it all, honestly. I legitimately do everything in the entertainment industry, from selling scripts to just making any dream that I've ever had come true. That's pretty much
you
it.
certainly have.
Yeah, that's it.
Jason's one of these. He doesn't just talk about it; he does it.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know where to begin. So let's talk about your Being Fat Sucks. We can talk about your fitness show. We're gonna play Caliente, your new single,
right.
at the end of the interview.
Okay.
And I want you to give everyone your links and where they can find the music video and everything. But tell us about Being Fat Sucks.
Oh God, Being Fat Sucks. Actually, it came out 6 months ago. It got picked up by Google. It's a fitness show that has to do with people that have lost faith in life and in themselves, which essentially caused them to get very fat, close to obese, if not obese, just like I was at one point in my life.
That's what I wanted you to talk about. A lot of people can't believe when they look at Jason that he was a heavier person.
believe.
You were heavier as a kid?
From a little kid to 21, I reached
21.
almost 225. So at 5'7", you do the math.
Wow.
I was a size 40 waist, and I was one of the most insecure, miserable people. But yet I kept a fake smile to keep moving.
Right.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
But at least I admit it. And I figured, you know what? If I can change, why can't I help other people? And that's how I got the opportunity to do the show Being Fat Sucks. It's on YouTube. It got picked up by Google. They picked up a bunch of shows that that felt that were gonna do good in the online world, which is essentially even more important
Which
than
is what we're doing right
than
now, yeah.
cable TV. I mean, a lot of people,
Yeah.
half of my friends don't have cable TV.
Right.
They rely on this right here, right now.
Right.
So nothing. The show, season 1, got completed. I did 68 episodes. I took the life of 3 people, changed their lives inside first and then out.
Wow.
And they all lost a lot of weight, and they're still continuing their journey. For season 2, they wanted to go a different direction in regards to how they wanted to do the show.
Right.
And I just didn't really feel that was my niche in terms of, now they want to like make a joke of fat people. And I was like, wait a minute, how do you go from, these are the creators of
Right.
the show, from wanting to change people's life in a positive way to now like, oh, let's make fun of them. Well, Jason, we got about 2 million views, which on YouTube is pretty damn good, but we feel we can go even further with it. And, because YouTube, it's all about the pranks and this and that. I'm like, you see, this is where you're lowering yourself right now.
Right.
That's not where I stand. So I kid you not, it was perfect timing. That's why, like, everyone always bitches about, oh, this happened. This is a bad thing. No, it's not a bad. There's no mistakes.
Right.
Kid you not, in the middle of everything, that's when, after a year of taping Caliente and all my other singles, it was perfect timing. I couldn't give that time that I gave to a lot of people on the show, and then I kind of fell off of the Being Fat Sucks show, and I worked on my music. So
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
everyone may or may not know you really came to prominence probably more so on I Love New York on the reality show, right? Back, how long? That's been, wow.
Yeah, that was the first reality show that kind of took me to a whole nother level of TV audiences. 2007, and then I followed by doing more shows on the VH1 MTV networks till 2009,
Right.
2010, yeah, and nothing. I just literally took the 15 minutes, and instead of going out and partying and taking advantage of the whole, like, let me party every day, let me be with every celebrity. Don't get me wrong, I did experience plenty of it and hosted at the Playboy Mansion many a times. I mean, I've lived the life of an A-lister, but let me tell you, it's not as fun as what it seems on TV.
Right.
I'll tell you that right now. So I just used my brain, and I said, wait a minute. Yeah, I spent 6 years in college. I don't really use my degree in PR and marketing. I'm from Spain and Puerto Rico. I speak 3 languages. Let me really do something with it. So at my age, I just turned 32. I run my own production company with my mother.
Do It Productions.
Do It Productions, that's right. And shout out to Mama Rosell.
DEW.
DEW, yeah, like Mountain Dew. And nothing, we're doing that. from producing short films, indie films, and of course music videos.
Well, isn't your family here now?
My mother and my grandmother, they moved out
from Florida.
Yes.
No, Florida.
Florida.
Right.
We're all from the East Coast of New York,
right.
but yeah.
Well, it's written in the law somewhere they have to end up in Florida after
Always.
that, right?
Yeah,
if you're on
always.
the East Coast, you must end up in Florida at some
That's
point.
right.
Well, and then you've moved them out here now.
Yeah,
So-
it's been 6 months.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the most amazing feelings in the world to have your superhero living next door, your best friend living next door, and most importantly, your number one fan/supporter.
Yeah.
Nobody can do you wrong.
Right. Jason, excellent. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it is what it is. That's why a lot of times people say, "Are you mama's boy?" I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah.
I
I totally own up to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Becky
and-
has 2 sons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 boys.
Yeah, and how old are they?
13 and 8, almost 9.
Oh, well, there you go.
Going on 30.
So I just have to interject this. My younger son, Zach, was being very sweet to me today. And I said, "Oh, Zach, you're so sweet to me. You take such good care of me. Are you going to take care of me when I'm old?" He said, "Nope, this is my shift. That one's Clay's." Yep.
Well, he's got help because he has a brother.
Yeah. Well, he's counting on his brother to take care of me in those years. That's
Wow.
Right. I love to say,
they
this
keep
is
it-
not my section. Sorry.
Right, right. I'm taking the easier shift.
let me tell you one true story, and it just happened. My mother takes care of my grandma, which is 89. God bless her,
Wow.
and she is the strongest human being as well. Another superhero, like all of us, right?
Right.
And my mother had to go to Florida a few weeks back, so I had to take care of my grandmother, okay, while my mom's in Florida. Plus, I have 27 clients that I train one-on-one. I have also a fitness company. God, there's so much that I do.
I know. I'm telling you, I don't even know.
Calientefitness.net. Yeah. You would think, my grandma always makes fun of it. She's like, "You work like a multi-billionaire. Where's the billions?" I'm like, it's coming.
coming.
I'm very patient.
Do what you love, and the money will come.
Absolutely. So needless to say,
Except for radio. Go ahead.
right. My grandma takes tons of pills in the morning, afternoon, evening, and you have to make sure you're on point.
Yeah.
Specific. I never realized how hard my mother worked until that day. Or like waking up, and I hate to say this, they're going to kill me when I say this, and my grandma's not feeling good. I have to give up everything that day to take care of her. The day of my birthday, I just turned 32 a few weeks back.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you. She got, she got really sick, and I freaked out. It was like that. But that's when I swear to God, she looks at me. She's like, "Jason, today you become a man." As I look at a mess everywhere without going into details, I'm like, "God help me, baby Jesus."
Wow.
I swear. No, really.
We have done there. You
Yeah.
see, Jason, it makes you stronger and you'll
Ralph's
be
been there.
fearless.
Yeah.
Ralph took care of his father, and
You were already fearless, and this just will surge you far ahead.
For sure, for
right.
sure. And now, because of it, me and my grandma, even though we've always been really close, now we have like a special bond just because I actually get it more so. And every time I look at her, I'm like, damn, I wish when I'm her age that my, everyone that comes after me gives me that little time that I give her.
Right.
Because that little time, even if it's like that 20 minutes a day to make her laugh or let her hear her stories, it means the world.
Right.
Believe me.
yeah.
So.
Well, I tell the story. I had to go home in November. My mom was in hospice, and we thought she was dying. And my brother and I were, taking my mom to the bathroom and doing these kind of things where at one point we just looked at each other like, really? But, you do it, and then it takes you to a whole another level once you do it. Because, they did this for us
Right.
way
Right.
back when. So it's funny how it's just ironic
Yep.
how we
Circle
start
of
out as
life.
babies and come back, right? Circle of life. So, but it's great that you have them there close by now, and they're your inspiration, and
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like right now, my mom also, since she moved, like with my fitness company, as I mentioned before, I love changing people's lives. Forget about the show and the spotlight. At the end of the day, making someone feel awesome from the inside out, there's no better feeling. Because there's people that I train that are over 50, even I have clients in their 60s, that I kid you
God,
not.
they're old.
They're in, no, but listen to me.
kidding.
They're in better shape than they were in their 20s and 30s.
Oh yeah, I can believe
And
that.
the fact that I was able to provide and guide, and we're still
Right.
we became friends now, it's invigorating to me, because I know what it's like to just not feel good to look at yourself in the mirror. You know, even to this day, I have my insecurities, but you have to be like thankful for what you have instead of, oh, why don't I have this? Why don't I have that? I hear it all the time. You know, it's funny. One of my clients actually texted me the other day. She's like, oh my God, you're on Dateline right now. Put it on. I'm like, why? What's the show? It's called Self Pixies. People that are so vain that have to take. And I'm like,
wait, what?
It
Self Pixies?
Yeah, it's like, you know how like pics.
Got
yeah.
it.
So like girls and celebrities and guys that work out that, you know, take self pictures. And yes, I will admit I have taken a few. There's a few days where, you know, I didn't have a lot of water in my system, didn't feel extra bloated. I was like, hey, you know, I went from a 4-pack to a 6-pack. How you doing over there? So I did a little, you know, couple pictures, and I looked at the guy, and he looked so much like me, but it wasn't me.
Oh, it
I
wasn't
was like,
you.
Damn it. I was actually
well, people thought it was. So,
right, exactly.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you look good, you feel good. It's just like taking a shower, smelling good. It's just that energy.
Have a brownie and a cookie, by the way.
Oh, right.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you think of these shows like The Biggest Loser and some of the weight loss shows that are on TV now? I don't know if you watch them or if you watch them.
Of course, I have to, because we did, like, if anyone out there goes to YouTube right now, you can get an idea, put it on mute. But essentially, if you go to Being Fat Sucks, you'll see what I did. It was pretty interesting. It's similar to the Biggest Loser, et cetera, but it was real daytime life, like not a competition where they're fighting against each other or like you have to do this. It wasn't premeditated. These people work, you know, 8 to 12 hours a day. And I was with them. I coached them once a week. They had nutrition plans, and it was real. The other shows are great for what? Ratings. That's what they want.
Right.
It's kind of like, I get it. But at the end of the day, you know, like Jillian Michaels, awesome. You know, more power to her and the shows. Just to me, it's not 110% real because you don't see their life in and out, like when they're not filming, when they are.
Well, and I'm sure she amps it up for the show also.
Of
you know,
course.
The yelling and the screaming
Absolutely
become part of her niche, and so she they want more of that.
That's what gets the ratings.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times when people meet me and remember me from all the shows I've done in the past, you know, because it's funny, talking about family, I got kicked off of I Love New York, the first show, because of my family. How ironic is that? That was the only thing that was real on the show, if anyone watched it. So, well, it's been years.
I know.
You know, it's just crazy to have fans in, like, Europe and all these people that are just now watching it.
By the way, what happened to her, the girl?
She's still in here.
Because for a while she was on. She had a lot of stuff happening. Then
she had tons of shows.
Tiffany?
Yeah,
No.
Tiffany Pollard. Yeah,
Not that I watched it. No. Yeah.
Everybody at one point knew about it. Was the Jersey Shore at its time. You
Yeah.
know, at one point, somebody's heard of Snooki, and if you haven't, then you're living in a cave.
Well, do you remember?
I've heard of her. I've never seen any of those shows.
It was So
Jersey Shore.
yeah. Well, it's mindless entertainment.
I Love New York was sort of like The Bachelor. It was a dating show
Okay.
taken to a different degree, and you were Heat.
Yeah,
Your character
That was my
Heat.
nickname. Is Heat. You know, everybody on the show. It's just like.
But it was reality. But they
Oh.
gave you a nickname.
Yeah, and so think of like think of The Bachelor and The Bachelor. You ever heard of that show?
I've heard of those.
Okay, so basically they take 20 gorgeous men, I'm just playing, and they placed them in a mansion in the Hollywood Hills, and what made the show a hit, it was they were fighting for the love of a particular girl. Her name was nicknamed New York, and her real name's Tiffany, but she was nicknamed by Flav, which
She
is
was a hot mess, by the way.
yeah, she was just a crazy TV character, and nobody could understand why these guys were competing for her love. So when the show first aired, it was the highest rated show on VH1 history at 4.8 million views in just the first, you know, day. That's what really, I didn't expect getting this. I mean, I literally went from working on like short films one day to like I'm in private jets touring the country because people wanted to meet me. Like it was the weirdest 180.
Yeah.
Like it was like what happened. But in the show they gave us our own names based on our personalities.
Okay.
And my nickname was Heat because in her and her mother's eyes, I was the hottest person inside out. So
And
boom.
her mother was a real character. Later, I think she and her mother had a reality show together.
They
So
had
why
5 shows.
Was,
Yeah.
why were every good-looking man? Why did they want her? You
Well, they
said-
didn't really, right?
No, okay, let me explain. And this is gonna hurt a lot of viewers, a lot of fans out there, and even my personal friends. 98% of reality TV is premeditated. Okay, 98%. 2%, you're lucky if you get kind of like how I got kicked off of the show. Actually meant like, when they said, hey, if you were stuck in a deserted island, who would eat first, your family or New York? I said, my family. What am I going to say?
Fuck her.
And it was like, done, right? Wow. Needless to say, no, anything from like Celebrity Rehab, it has premeditations.
Yeah.
Is it true? Are they going through issues? Absolutely. Whether it's, what's the other? God, there's every other show.
All
like
the
that.
housewife shows.
Yeah,
Everything.
and
I only watch The Voice. That's the only reality show.
I think I think the judges are told to play up certain things.
They have to amp it up.
Yeah.
But the Voice is not cruel.
No.
I don't want my kids to watch any of those shows where people are laughed at, like what you were talking about, where they learn to ridicule.
Like Honey Boo Boo?
Well, again, I only knew who Honey Boo Boo was because it was, I can't remember what context I first heard it in. I went online and looked up Honey Boo Boo, and I said, oh my God,
Because it
this
has to be
child's
from
from
Georgia and close to where we grew up. But,
Right. Look, let me give you an example of how reality works. Say right now, obviously we're live and we can't do nothing about it. You have 5 camera people in the room, and all of a sudden, if I were to slip up, just give you a little note and you read it while Jasper's not looking, and you read it and say something really bad about Jasper. Jasper dated a 450-pound Amazon in Thailand, was married and has 8 creatures
Allegedly.
around the... Next you say, so, Jasper, what's up with those, that Thailand chick? And you're like, what? Drama just started,
The producers create it.
Absolutely.
Right.
So it's what's going to create, like same thing like what are you saying with the host? The show may be a great show, but if you want to amp it up, if you got whether it's J-Lo having her New York tantrum or whether you have whatever it is, they're going to do something to spice it up.
Well, American Idol did the whole thing this year with Mariah Carey and Nicki Minaj.
Right.
They made up this whole feud and, prior to the season ever starting. And then when it actually aired, you're like, oh, that's it? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's always
something.
that way.
Why are you so quiet today, Ralph?
Oh no, I'm just listening to you. I'm just getting
Birthday hangover.
No,
Well,
I-
it's interesting
I'm
because
absorbing your
Ralph is a
information.
fitness instructor also. Ralph's been
right on.
teaching for how many years?
Oh, since the 90s, since the 80s. I've been teaching. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So you do a class 3 times a week,
So
right?
you
now I
still
do.
have leg warmers if you've been doing it.
And,
Right.
and headbands.
And headbands, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm just absorbing your story. It's fascinating, to hear about, just the realities of all of this. No, I will be piping in.
And Ralph
Right
was
on.
300 pounds. Oh, no, that's not true.
No, but I was heavy set. So
Sure.
being fat sucks. I totally
Yeah.
can relate to that because
sure.
I was called Fat Boy. And I
sure.
wheezed and I was chosen last for the teams.
For sure.
But then in high school, I started slimming down. I had a wisdom tooth infection, and that made me lose weight. And then from that point on, I wasn't a fat boy anymore.
For every bad, there's a good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and that's why when people say like, and it's kind of relates to like career, I have a very hard time dating. Women, it's very easy to meet them, but for someone to date me working anywhere from 14 to 16 hours on a daily basis, I barely have energy to like even watch TV. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it's kind of like what I'm going through is dating, finding out what I love, what I'm learning, what I don't like, and I'm putting it together. If I wouldn't go through all these things that I've been going through, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing at my age. Absolutely not. Like,
Well, you're still young. You're 32.
that's what I'm saying. Most of the people, like, nothing has really. My music just came out, and I'm already #1 in the Latin dance charts. I mean, it's just like.
So yeah, let's talk. We need
it's
to
like-
talk about your music before time gets out of
Yeah,
our way here. So
sure.
how did this come about? How did Caliente? Well, first of all, Caliente is the name. Caliente Fitness is your fitness company,
Right.
So obviously, Caliente is a word that you.
That's
relate
right.
To.
So I used it on all my I had to
Sorry,
wear
I just,
the shirt.
I just noticed you had a
And I
t-shirt.
like the color, so I'll be needing one of those t-shirts.
Absolutely, you got the matching.
In fact, just take it off and give it to him
Yeah.
before you leave.
Yeah.
No, on my shows on VH1 and MTV, I would always say, "Are you feeling caliente, baby?" Which means, "Are you feeling hot, baby?" And it was just a regular expression. Caliente, of course, for most people that don't know, means hot in Spanish. Are you feeling good? It's like an energy feel, And I
Are you
took
feeling the heat?
Are you feeling the For the most part, yeah, absolutely. But I did it more in a
And
branding.
it's not menopause,
No. You're funny.
Becky.
So, anywho,
As
nothing.
Becky fans herself.
Yeah, I am, but it's warm in here.
It
It's
is kinda
caliente.
It's caliente.
Caliente.
It's caliente. So nothing. I did it in a marketing standpoint. I was like, you know what? Everybody has their own thing that they do. I got mine. So I took that, and then I started the CalienteFitness.net, which is the fitness company. And then, kid you not, I was with a musician that was editing a bunch of footage from different movies I was in last year. And he's an awesome musician, producer, and he was playing the guitar. And I started singing just because I've always, when I was a little kid, I used to sing all the time, do little competitions. My mom was a musician. She had an album, late 70s. My father played the piano, the whole nine. So I always had a natural boom, 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 just never did nothing about it. So I figured, wait a minute. I've done everything. Why not try music? Right? And he's like, look, dude, if you have a decent voice with your look and your brand, you can actually really conquer something. And it just clicked. You know what I mean? And it went from going on a solid, like 120 BPM, just like, to like me going like, can you feel me? And it just made sense.
Yeah, it's
8 months later, it took 8 months and 2 producers later to produce this track.
wow.
Mix it, master it, and now I'm working with even more awesome producers and finishing like my 5th single. It's just, look, when
And
you...
explain that to your abuela.
Mi abuelita, claro que sí.
And you tell her, you see, mamacita, it is coming. I'm working hard, and now look where you've gone in 8 months.
Oh,
Now,
believe
is it
me.
in Spanish?
It's bilingual. All my
Okay.
music is English and Spanish, and it comes from my roots from Spain and Puerto Rico. And it's music for everyone. It's just music.
Yeah, Caliente is hot.
Caliente is hot.
So hot that I had to bring my fan.
And Ralph, that is so butch. I mean, really.
So butch.
I
I mean,
watched,
seriously.
I watched the video before coming here today and
Yeah.
thought I had to bring the fan.
In fact, Ralph wasn't coming until he saw the video,
Yeah,
and then
okay.
he decided
and then
he
I
might
thought,
show
I think I'll
up.
come back. No, when I found out that you were on the show
Sure.
again, I said, oh, by all means.
Now, all of this information is on Jason's website. The
Everything.
links, everything, and it's ROSELL, JasonRosell.com. It's got the fitness, the new single. We're going to play the single as we go to break right after this when you say goodbye
Sure.
and head out, because Jason's a busy man. He's got
Oh, you
got
gotta
to
go. That's right.
He's
But
got
thank you
people
for
to
this
see
time.
and things to
Absolutely.
do. But what else? Anything else that's coming up that we should look for?
It has over 30,000 hits, by the way.
It already has over, and this is in less than 3 weeks. iTunes is doing great. And I announced it. I did another show yesterday. I announced it there. I'm gonna announce it as well here. The Caliente remix, which is a club quote unquote banger, because when you hear Caliente, it's more like a fun loungy. You know what I'm saying? It's got that salsa feel. This one's for clubs, for a lot more youthful people, DJs.
The women are beautiful
Yes.
in it. It's a beautifully
Thank you.
shot video.
Yes. News-wise, I'll leave it short. I have a feature film that I shot a year and a half ago. That's finally coming
boxing.
out. No,
No,
not
oh.
even that. This is another one.
Okay.
It's called 10 Buck Baton. So look out for that on my site. It's been going through all the festival routes. You know how it is. It takes forever. Besides that, what else? I have a bunch of more singles coming out. Awesome videos. And at the end of the day, like when people, I want to leave this note because this is so important for me to say. Everybody prejudges everybody in any way, shape, or form, especially in the media.
Especially here.
Yeah, right. It's like, hello, why are you doing that, or why are you wearing that? But no, ultimately what I'm trying to get at is like Facebook, social media. People put out what they want to be seen as. We all do it to a certain extent, whether you're just only have 2 pictures or 2,000 pictures. Life, at the end of the day, it's about getting attention, whatever industry you're in. But what little people know is the insides of what really it takes. And I love when people just think you have like this, oh my God, you must party, you must do this. Let me tell you, hard work and being disciplined and being balanced, it's sometimes really, really boring, okay? And this is the true story. It's not because I'm a boring guy, by no means. My fun is about to come in different ways. And it's just more so, it's dedication. So when people say, well, how are you able to eat brownies or Cheetos. Yeah, because I only do that once a week.
Right.
6 days a week is discipline.
Moderation.
That's all it is. It's balance, keeping proactive. And same thing, I traded a party life for being a workaholic. That's honestly what I did. I look better now than when I was 25.
You look better now than you did when you were on our show.
People don't realize show business is a lot of work. It's not glamorous.
Yeah.
Even the business part is really not glamorous.
It's
right, Ralph.
Exactly. It's cutthroat.
Red carpets are
It's boring. Everything that used to excite
tiring.
me, whether it was the certain woman that looked a certain way, whether it was exactly the red carpets, it's
work.
It's just
it's work now.
Yeah, it's just like boom. Okay, I gotta go. But as soon as the pictures are done, I am out of there.
Right.
I'm out of there.
Well, but listen to all
Ralph and I have been doing that for years. Right. We show up and then leave.
Yeah.
Well, look, but listen to all the millions of people that got to hear your brand today.
Right.
Than on the red carpet.
Right.
To me, this is much more impressive and informative because they hear you and know about you rather than you look great and you look great on the photos that we'd see the next day on Wire Images.
Sure
but let's hear about you. So this forum is great.
And you're on Twitter.
Yeah,
Facebook, everything's on the website.
Everything on social media sites is Jason Rosell Live, and my site is jasonrosell.com. I keep
that makes it easy.
So simple. You know what I mean? And exactly. Funny that you say that about hearing someone's voice and interaction. There's so many people that have way more fans than all of us in this room in one way. You know what I'm saying? When you look great, that's great. But I guarantee you put you on the stage and represent yourself, they're not going to close a deal. You got to close the deal. You got to be mentally there. You got to be physically there. And your soul has to be there.
Right.
Because you know what? You got to look yourself in the mirror every day and say, I did it my own way.
Right.
I don't have to do this, that, whatever. I'm sorry. It's the truth. A lot of
no judgments here.
A lot of my
Ralph.
friends that are in big movies right now, hey, they did what they had to do.
That's
Hey,
right.
Who?
Oh,
that's another show.
Off air.
That's another show.
Well, listen, on that note, thank you, buddy, so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Jason Rosell. As we go out, we're going to listen to his new single, Caliente.
You're the best.
Hey, thank you.
Muchas
Muchas gracias. Todo el mundo aquí. I got to give my shout out to my Spanish people.
Oh, yes.
La gente hispana de España, muchísimas gracias. Estamos en contacto, jasonrosell.com, baby.
And mucho dinero. How
Claro
about
que sí.
that? All right, here it is,
Thank you,
Caliente.
guys.
Come back, Planet Earth.
You're back on the set with Hollywood's bad guy, Jasper Cole. Here's Jasper Cole.
Woohoo! All right. Howdy, 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 and welcome, bitches, back to On the Set with Jasper Cole. It is sort of like church on Sunday, and I'm Reverend Cole. I'm here with Reverend Cole Jr.
I love that. That's great, Jasper.
Give us an old Negro minstrel, Ralph.
Okay. Wait in the world.
That lovely voice would be my way too gay sidekick, Ralph Cole Jr.
Hello, Planet Earth. Welcome back to our world.
We were just listening to Caliente by Jason
Rosell, and it is Caliente.
He is so fucking lazy. It's like,
oh my God,
could you get off your ass and
14
do something?
to 16 hours a day, but the support of his family, so it's wonderful, and not afraid to own up to that he takes care of his mother and grandmother.
Absolutely.
So, and having a mother with us on the show, Becky our special
Canady,
guest co-host.
Let's give it up for our special co-host,
out.
born and raised in Swainsboro, Georgia.
Yes, sir.
We packed up those cars and just came right on out to California.
Oh my God, and sneaked those plants right through Arizona.
Just right on through. Over 25 years, and we were child actors when we arrived.
That's right.
And I will forever be grateful for Willow Springs Now, which Becky
Absolutely.
created, and we co-wrote it, and we co-starred in it, and we
It was so much
came
fun.
out here, and I never give up on it, and I pitch it every chance I can, and people still love it. And just remember, Willow Springs Now, it will come back.
You have had some life with it again.
Yeah, there's been I feel Becky knows every time I have a chance, I pitched it to Tyler, I pitch it wherever. People love it.
Well, for those of you listening, Planet Earth, if you're just tuning in, Dara, our lovely entertainment dish, is vacationing in New York with her family. Dara Zane Scully. Hope you're listening, girl.
Entertainment Dish with Dara. Yes. We really didn't get into much entertainment tonight, but we will later if we have time.
Well, no, you guys did a little bit. You touched on the Housewives with Jason.
Yeah. We talked a little bit about
and you
that.
said the word Nicki Minaj. So that makes it
we
timely.
said American
Yeah,
Idol.
Okay.
But switching gears to a whole different topic here now, we are going to bring on an amazing producer and reality person, Jake P. Hall, who he and I have sort of a history together. We created a show called The Secret Truth for Oprah Winfrey Network. We pitched many, many reality shows. We got into a situation where we had some of our projects stolen. Of course, we can't go into details, but he and I are now making a documentary called From Pitch to Litigation and Everything in Between. So please welcome to the show Mr. Jake P. Hall. And let me see, how do I do this, Ralph?
Is his phone number? Oh, there it is.
Oh, Ralph.
He should be on. Jake is on the phone line now. Hold on, Planet Earth.
Hello.
Jake?
Yes.
Hey, how are you?
Hi. I'm good. How are you?
It's Jasper, and it's Becky, and it's Ralph. Say hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Woo! Well, that's our studio audience giving you a big, big hello. Thanks for hanging on the line. I was just briefly giving a little intro about our history together and you know what really has brought us to this point of wanting to make this documentary. Becky, as you know, is a writer and has just written her first book, and as mentioned at the beginning of the show, she had sent it out to Bell Books. Do you know, by the way, Jake, are you familiar with Bell Books Publishing?
I'm not familiar with that.
They're in Tennessee. They've
Okay.
been around since 1999, and it was a bunch of Southern writers that got together and formed this
Yeah.
publishing house. Yeah.
Well, you know, it's amazing because you hear the stories over the years about writers in general, producers for scripted stuff getting stolen, and this whole reality world has opened up almost like a haven to be stolen because Writers Go really doesn't, protect. I mean, there aren't writers go writers in reality. And that's a whole other debate because so much of reality is supposedly not scripted, but it kind of really is. And so with Jake and I, we were very blessed to go into all the networks, E! And Bravo and Oxygen, and we pitched and we pitched and we pitched. And basically with us, we went into one company on one meeting. We pitched 2 shows, and a year later, one of the shows was airing, and then exactly a year to the date, the second one was airing. So
without your name attached.
Oh, of course, without our name. And we've been in off and on throughout litigation for how long, Jake? 4 years?
Well, it's actually 34 months.
34 months right now. And we're now with our second amazing law firm. We went through a total disaster with the first one, which will be in the documentary From Pitch to Litigation.
Can't wait to see that.
Yeah, because that right there is a TV movie within itself. Yeah. Just the way the attorneys, what they did to our case, and it's unbelievable. But we were very fortunate because of Jake's diligence and never giving up to find another really powerful firm here in LA who took our case. And we are literally weeks away from either having to go to litigation and file, or hopefully just the threat of the litigation will bring a settlement.
I would think some firms would be afraid to go up against studios.
That's the key. And Jake, you can talk about that without naming our firm. But for instance, how you actually came to find this particular firm. And part of the reason was because they had gone up against the studios, right, Jake?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of large law firms, they have allegiances to the major players like ABC and Disney and Viacom and CBS and MediaCorp, which is like Fox. So you have to, diligently search for a law firm who actually represents writers and producers and not networks and studios. And sometimes law firms forget to tell you that they represent networks and studios.
Yeah, that was one of our problems. Without naming names, we were with one of the largest in the world, and they took on our case. And about 6 months into the case, we found out that the actual company that we were litigating against, they were now repping. And that's a conflict of interest, but they didn't tell us. And so when we confronted him with it, it became a thing about, well, we can get more bees with honey working from the inside, and it just became a total nightmare, and it just spiraled out of control basically. Because once it almost looks like we were set up to be taken in. They saw what an amazing case we have, and then they were like, well, let's make sure we pit them against each other. let the statute of limitations run out, and we'll pretend we're going to rep the case, and then nothing really happened, which is basically what happened to us. But I think what Becky was saying is like finding a firm like we have who have taken on the big studios. I think in particular, our firm has taken on some other reality shows. It's so hard, right? It's so hard to talk in code, right, Jake?
Yeah, not drop the names.
But but the key is, you're right. Some of the firms, they're excited by the fact of they've already sued these people before. They know they'll sue them again, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. The weird thing about that a little bit, though, is which we're finding is they all golf together. They all know each other in LA. So it's like our attorneys know the attorneys for the studio. And so you're talking to them. They're like, well, we've worked with him before on other settlements, or when we sued them last time, we were on the golf course. And I'm always like, really? Yeah, that just seems a little bizarre. Yeah. But I think another big point was, in our case, if it weren't for Jake's first of all, if it weren't for your ADD, we wouldn't have the meticulous notes and emails that, in fact, both law firms always said that to us. They said, I've never seen the trail of evidence that you guys have.
And he's tenacious.
That's what it is. I mean,
tenacity.
Jake
will take
could
you
be a
long
paralegal
way.
at this point. Talk, Jake, about this whole thing of pitching in California as opposed to other states, and a lot of writers don't understand how the laws protect you here as opposed to New York or somewhere else.
Well, if you're going to pitch, you want to make sure you are in the state of California, because when you do a pitch as a writer or a producer, and under California law, precedence has been set and upheld by the Supreme Court for an implied contract that both parties enter into. So if the idea is in fact borrowed, you have a claim for breach of implied contract.
And theft of idea, which is like the biggest probably thing that people have stolen, they have their ideas stolen. We've learned in some ways that's actually one of the easiest things to prove.
That surprised me so much because I always thought you couldn't copyright an idea.
But, some of these studios, and I have friends who have done this, they've called me and been so excited. They're like, and this, I'm making this up. Oh my God, Disney is flying me to New York to pitch my shows. Well, they want you to fly to New York to pitch because the moment you pitch in New York, they've stolen them and you have nothing you can do about it.
Oh my God.
Right, Jake?
Because the state doesn't because the state does not recognize oral or implied contracts, and they also don't recognize the protection of the idea in and of itself. And one of the other things that there's a misunderstanding on is the Writers Guild offers registration for writers to register their work and protect it. However, it is not recognized in court the same way that a copyright is. So it's always best to register and apply for a copyright on all of your works. Wow. So that you have copyright protection.
And of course, when it comes to reality, even though people register their reality treatments, if you ever need to go to the Writers Guild, then they're just like, we can't help you. We don't have anything to do with it. We don't recognize reality. It's like, really, but you didn't mind taking that $10 when I registered it here, So they were of no use, no help whatsoever. Wow. But I will say to anyone listening who's in this situation, you got to keep copious notes. You got to have, and thank God for for emails now. Everything is an email trail. Get everything in writing. Try to, just like attorneys. Attorneys, they will not get back to you if they don't want something in writing. They won't write you an email because they know it's always going to be on record. They'll leave you a voicemail or something or they'll use their personal home BlackBerry and not the office one. But I think the big key is we've already heard, in starting to put this documentary together, hundreds and hundreds of people that are reaching out to us with their stories. They didn't have the evidence. They couldn't find a law firm that would take it on contingency. That's another thing. We've been blessed both times which told us how we knew we had a great case, that both of these big firms were willing to take us on straight contingency, because why would they if.
Yeah.
But it's kind of heartbreaking because we've met these people online and on the phone that just blatantly were stolen from. and they just didn't have the resources or the evidence to back it up. And then at that point, I mean, Jake and I have another, there is a show running right now on Logo, which is a huge hit, about drag queens. That in all honesty, we created that as well. And that's just one that got away from us, and we didn't have anything to do. We didn't have the resources to do anything about it. But there that particular. If we had stopped at that point and never did anything else, we'll be one of hundreds sitting around going, well, I created that show. I pitched it.
So where does
we
your
have
case
an email
stand
from
now?
RuPaul's manager to show that we had it there first on that one.
Yeah, Becky was asking. Well, here our case now. So we went through almost 9 months of tolling agreements, going back and forth, trying to get a settlement where they say, well, this is how you didn't create it, and we say, well, no, this is how we did, and they come back, and what's happened is there was a time in the last few years where a lot of these places would just settle. They wanted to just settle and be done with. But now that you have 4 corporations that own Hollywood, Comcast, Time Warner, Disney, and Sony, Viacom, now it's kind of like, sue us. It's almost like you have to sue them to get them to settle. It's almost like if you really, they're threatening you. Oh, really? Because
of all those people that don't have the resources that you were just talking about. Right.
And it's so blatantly sad because I'm so glad I'm really an actor, and that's what I love to do, because if my livelihood and my passion and everything was about producing, especially reality, then I would have jumped off a building probably. I mean, because it's like, it is so corrupt. And we're in a situation where we were in a deposition situation where someone at Viacom basically said, and quote me if I'm wrong, but how did they say it? Basically, this is what we do this all the time. We actually train our development people to do this. To steal. Right, Jake? How did she word it?
She basically said that hold on.
Get that paperwork, Jake.
Pull up that email.
There's no protection. When she was asked, how do you protect the producers and writers coming in to pitch it? She basically, what protection do they have from you taking the idea that you just heard and taking it to a production company that you like? And she said none.
0.
Oh my God!
And
that was the response.
And even in our situation,
and that was just shocking.
This particular company, because you're dealing with a studio that owns the network, the channel, but they actually came back and they've said all of this happened. We're not disputing, but these people don't work here anymore, and so we didn't know about it. But they're still culpable. I mean, they greenlit the shows, and in our situation, we had talent attached. We had production, the same production company, the network. I mean, we didn't just have one pitch with one idea. I mean, it's like when we went in that day to pitch, we had an Emmy-winning producer on the speaker from New York and his assistant who was backing us up to be co-producers on it. It's not like we just fell off the turnip truck.
Now, is he in litigation with you?
Well,
or what happened with him?
He chose not. Well, his company did not have anything to do with actually making it, because they didn't. They passed on it. We didn't find out till a year later that they had. What we had with them was a show called The Secret Truth, the one that Oprah ended up doing. This CBS optioned it first. That's who we had with us in the room.
Okay.
Then that
we had a first look deal.
We had a first look deal, and then we got to Oprah after the CBS deal ended.
I can't wait to see this documentary.
Well, it is. You know what? And forgetting just ours. I mean, of course, our story kind of anchors it as sort of like why we're doing it. But I'm telling you, there are, and the worst part is these are not just nobody people. There are seasoned showrunners and seasoned veteran writers and people that have been stolen from. And some of them.
I hope you're going to get into.
Christensen just last year, the big, Star Wars actor.
Oh,
Royal Pains.
Hayden
He's
Christensen, that
doing
series
USA.
on USA called
His
Royal
brother.
Pains. He created that, and USA stole it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Go ahead,
Oh,
Becky.
I was just going to say, I hope in the documentary you're going to get into what happens when all these companies are allowed to merge, because whether it's in the entertainment industry or whatever, we lose.
That's right.
Whenever these giant corporations
Conglomerates,
merge.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, that's there's no middle class in Hollywood, just like there's no middle class in corporate America. I mean, in the world right now. And just as an actor, you know, Ralph knows this. We talk about it. There was a time when I first started, and as I built up my career, I had a quote, and then I got more credits, and I could, you know, this is my weekly. It is scale plus 10, take it or leave
It's
it.
the haves and the
Because if
have-nots
I
even
don't take
here.
it, Scott Baio's out in his car about to come in and sign in.
And that's why I do offer only now.
That's why Ralph is offer only. Uh-huh.
I don't know what that is.
He doesn't either. Offer only means he doesn't audition, you just offer.
Oh, got it.
Which is why he's sitting here.
Okay.
Yeah. That's how he got on Sunset Gower today. But I mean,
Jasper offered it and I took it. Okay.
yeah. But it is kind of sad because that's part of what you're talking about. It's $400 million movies or a SAG ultra budget $100 a day. Take it or leave it. Rarely is there a middle ground movie. I get a few.
This is my question to the studios as well as those billionaires that Mitt Romney talked about. I'm not getting political.
Why
yet.
not?
It's like, how much is enough?
Right.
When is enough enough? How many zeros have to be behind those other zeros before it's enough? Because we worker bees just want to do what we love and make a decent
living.
Exactly.
It's greed. It's corporate greed.
And that trickle down stuff is just bullcrap.
And, you know, we're not just talking about talent. I mean, they came in and they slashed, I'm sure, on this lot. I mean, people lost their jobs. They downsized people, secretarial jobs.
Well, that's how we got this office.
That's how we got this one. We have to clean it up before we leave, and Ralph has to make some fried chicken. But
I would like some fried chicken.
I sound so
me too.
racist today, and everyone knows
Today.
I am not racist. Not to your face, anyway. But Jake, we do digress.
Sorry,
but,
Jake.
No, but that's basically the point. Is the corporate greed has trickled down all the way through, and so the arrogance of it now is like, we'll steal your idea.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah, just blatant.
And then the other problem is too how the big law firms, like the big one that we were with, they rep half of these corporations. They rep the studios. And if you try to go after them, they also donate so much money to the New York bar and the California bar that they practically keep them in business.
So you can't
it's just
even-
so incestuous,
oh,
right?
God.
Right, Jake? It's so incestuous.
So you're going to expose
even though you're supposed to be able to have protection through the bar association, they completely have the right to just not respond, even when someone has violated the rules of professional conduct and caused injury or harm to clients.
Because
It's really bad.
The law firm that we were first with, this particular attorney is in the state of New York, and Jake has, on his own, pursued this attorney separately, and he has taken it all the way to the New York State Bar and the disciplinary committee.
And I've taken it all the way to the New York State governor, and 146 phone calls, emails, and faxes. Governor Cuomo has failed to respond.
Oh my God!
Yeah, don't play. Jake doesn't play. Yeah, you'll see him in the documentary. So
Now, are you going to be able to name names in the documentary?
well, here's the thing. I'm hoping that by the time we finish, our case will be settled.
And then you can,
Yeah, I mean,
unless you take
if the
up-
lawsuit gets filed, the case becomes public record, and there's absolutely nothing we can do about it. So our names will be out there on it, and that's fine. We'll just let
You
it
mean
roll.
you're talking about being blackballed?
Well, I think on some, I feel like I think it's funny. I say this all the time. In the last year, I've been up for many, many television shows, making it all the way to being on a veil, and just suddenly don't get it.
Well, you could be not good, too.
Okay. I'm sorry. We'll have to mute that. Right, that is a good point. That's my rationalization for not getting it, that it couldn't be me. It must be that. But I'm well, at this particular studio, they clearly know who we are because we've been negotiating with them for a year, right?
And, we have, and, the thing is, all those development executives, they're all friends, and when you say something to the first one about where's our deal memo that we should have gotten, and he ends up getting producer credit on the show, he certainly calls every other development person he knows in town and tells them that, to make you persona non grata.
And this is the story we tell in the documentary. I was sitting in the lobby at the E! Channel at a meeting that Jake had set up for me. Charlene Tilton, Sally Kirkland, Lanny Kazan, my publicist Dominic, we're there to go pitch, and I've pitched there many, many times. And this is after our first case had started. And when I'm sitting there and we're waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and then there was all this like hubbub and blah, blah, blah. And Jake calls me and he's like, have you guys gone in yet? And I go, no, it's just weird because I don't understand. Basically, they were trying to cancel the meeting because they knew what our case was going on. So this particular development person had already heard from the guy who stole our show at this other place. So then they took this meeting that wasn't even real. I mean, I knew it wasn't. It was just kind of like we're all going through the motion. I mean, this guy who I used to pitch all the time was very enthusiastic, was just like this. He was just kind of looking around, and here we had all this talent there and everything. So that was one of the first times when I thought,
something's not right.
There is a blackball going on. It has nothing to do with Ralph.
or bowling. So, on that note, you might want, speaking of fabulosity and extraordinaire,
yes,
your publicist might be
well. Listen, our
around.
Publicist Jonathan Jaxson is going to be joining us for Entertainment Dish, and as Jake knows, we will be needing his help as this case progresses in terms of spinning this in the press. But listen, Jake, thank you so much for calling in, and we're going to keep everyone updated on the website and how they can find out more information on the documentary. And you're the best, and I talk to you every day, so you can't get away from me. And thanks again, buddy, and we'll have you back on as the case progresses. Okay,
Bye,
thank
Jake.
you.
All right.
Bye, Jake.
Wow, he's amazing. He really is.
This is fascinating. This fascinates
I
me.
just wanted to introduce this today because I thought, I want to put it out there now, and as the documentary keeps going along. Well, listen, speaking of entertainment, of course, Dara's not here today, but my publicist extraordinaire, Jonathan Jaxson, is going to be joining us. I think he's calling in, Ralph. Is that true?
Yes, I think he's on the line now, but do you want to go to break and then we'll have Jonathan join us when we
maybe
return
that's
from
what
break?
we'll do. Thank you, Ralph.
And then we can play jazz.
And before I forget, the show got started in such a rush. I have to thank the team last month when I was in Mexico, Ralph and Dara and Marcus. You guys did an amazing job.
Thank you, Jasper.
And I feel like I know now that I can leave and you guys can handle it. And
we encourage that.
Yeah, of course, I noticed. Ralph was very happy to star and take over Dollar. Yes. But you guys did a great job.
Thank you, Jasper.
It won't ever happen again.
Okay.
Okay, listen.
It will because you work a lot, but go on.
Okay, well, on that note, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Jonathan Jaxson from the ZLP Group will be here to dish it out. We'll be right back.
Stay
Bye-bye.
tuned, Planet Earth.
You're back on the set with Hollywood's bad guy, Jasper Cole. Here's Jasper Cole.
Woohoo! All right. Howdy, 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 and welcome back to On the Set with Jasper Cole. Coming in to you live from Sunset Gower Studios right here in Hollywood, California. And we are starting our last hour, bringing it down the home stretch. Please say hi to my way too gay sidekick, Mr. Ralph Cole Jr.
Hello, Planet Earth. Welcome back.
You are so resplendent in orange. There you go.
Jasper, thank you. You know how I like to do.
Yeah, very subtle. Ralph is very subtle.
My brand is orange. My fellow Planet Earthians, thank you very much for your big shout out for my birthday yesterday. People know me as fierce. People know me as orange. People know me as Gur. Together, that's fierce, orange, Gur. coming to you live at On the Set with Jasper
We're
Cole.
going to work on his self-esteem as the show goes on. We're going to bring him out of his shell, right?
Exactly. Yeah, because I want to work on that.
Yeah,
I think you'll be able
we're
to
going to bring up,
just
get you a
punch it
little
up,
more,
just
like sing out
raise the
Louise.
roof. Okay.
But someone who does not need help on her self-esteem, all the way from Georgia, who came here with me 25 years ago, and is our special co-host, Miss Becky Canady. Welcome, Becky.
Thank you for having me, honey. I'm so happy to be here.
Welcome back as our special co-host,
Thank
sitting
you,
in for
Ralph.
Dara Zane Scully this afternoon.
Yeah, Dara is in New York City with her husband and kids, enjoying
Allegedly.
the Big Apple, and so we are coming up. First of all, we are joined also by the very beautiful, very talented Pepper J. Hi, sweetheart.
Yes.
Welcome back. She is a return guest. Although last time you were taped, so you weren't live, right?
Yes, I was not live.
So this time we have the honor of seeing your beautiful
Yay.
face.
in person, yay!
And she has a team of people with her, and she's fabulous. And as always, Boone, we're going to talk right after. We're going to do some entertainment with Jonathan Jaxson. We're going to get into Pepper's shows and her company and everything she has coming up. But
Well, I think we're about to play Jax right now.
yeah, is he here?
Yes, he is.
Where is he?
Come on in, Jonathan Jaxson. You're live on the set with Jasper Cole. Welcome.
Hey, buddy, is that you?
Hello, guys.
Hi.
Hi. Welcome. Let's give you your applause.
Yes.
You know, I'm trying to get used to all this technical stuff. Yeah.
Jonathan, welcome back. How are you?
Good, Ralph. How are you? It's been forever.
I know. I am excellent. Thank you.
Hi, Jonathan.
That's Becky, our special co-host from Georgia.
Hey, Becky,
Jonathan.
how are you?
Jonathan was living in Atlanta, and I do believe he's in Florida now.
Okay.
Yes. But
I am in Florida right now. Yeah, I was with the Atlanta Housewives, which airs tonight, and then I was working with Big Rich Atlanta, Trainwreck.
Trainwreck. We were
Nonetheless.
discussing reality TV with Jason Rosell earlier. So you're very well versed in reality TV. Yes. Well, and also,
Unfortunately.
well, exactly. So what's the latest? What's the big buzz right now coming out of entertainment?
It's so funny. Jasper, I mean, I cover, Dara does this all the time, and Becky and all of you guys, I'm sure, are well aware of Halle Berry and pregnant, which is, not a shock, but I think it's great. 46 to get pregnant,
Yay.
but their
Yay
second
for
child.
older
I was the
moms.
first person in the world. Yeah, I mean, she's beautiful, she's sexy, she finally showed up her baby bump. How she's hit it, I have no clue. But TMZ punked her and put it out, which I think is fantastic. Nonetheless, I have a love-hate relationship with Halle in the way that she, treats a lot of things. But in the end of the day, she's a fantastic mother, and I was the very first person 5 years ago to announce her very first pregnancy. So it's kind of fitting that this happens on the same weekend that I'm on air with you guys. So
Now,
very exciting.
am I the only
and then-
one? Am I the only one that has a problem that she keeps having these kids and she's not married, and now the father of this
I know,
baby
you
beat
have a
up the
problem
other
with
father,
her.
and she's just drama.
Oh, so it's not the fact that she.
Well, I think the fiance, right?
Well, I don't know. She didn't marry the first
pretty
one.
Becky.
But you have a problem with her not marrying?
Well, I have a problem with she had her current fiance beat up the father to her other kid in front of the kid.
Oh, well, that's a whole.
And now
story.
she's pregnant with this one. She just loves drama. She seems like she's always got drama.
She
but
should really come on our show then.
I would. But she's welcome here anytime, Miss Halle. If you're listening,
come on down. I swear, if one more person confuses me with Halle, it's just, I'm like, guys, thank you, but no, I'm Ralph, and that's Halle.
it's either Flip Wilson or
Halle
You get
Berry.
it?
I think Flip's no longer.
my
Thank you.
gosh.
God rest his soul. That's why Ralph is working. Sorry, Jonathan. We digress.
No, it's fine. Look, but it's exciting to have another baby, 46 years old. Congrats to her. So hopefully there'll be less of violence going on at her casa, Del Casa in California. But needless to say, whatever. Lily Pulitzer died today, which was very sad to the fashion world. You guys, I'm sure, are familiar with Lily Pulitzer at 81.
Orange juice
God
dresses.
bless her. I mean,
Orange juice dresses.
have you guys heard that yet?
Is that right?
Yes, orange juice
What now?
dresses.
That's Pepper J.
Yes, she had a beautiful idea, quite by accident, that orange juice spilling on clothes would be awful. So she designed things that looked like it was okay to have orange juice spilled on your dresses.
I love it.
She made it trendy.
Yes,
Oh my gosh, Pepper J! I never knew that.
there
See,
go.
you learn a little
That's
something
fantastic.
on the set with Jasper Cole, and
It's
it's usually not
educational
from
as
me;
well.
it's from my guest. That's why I only have smart people on. Oh wow! Well, I have to ask you something.
That was fantastic.
Is this a Kardashian-free zone, or can I ask a question?
Go ahead, ask. Look
Okay.
at this point.
What's this latest thing
I
about
was at the store today, and I must
Robert Kardashian's wife? His widow is now being sued by the Kardashians. I guess she's put up with him all these years since he passed away, and so she's, I guess, sold some diaries of his to In Touch magazine, stating how he was.
she had
they bled
diaries
him.
that she put into a book.
Oh,
and
into a
it was going
book.
to be a memoir that she was make money off of because she's lost a lot of profits, from his estates and such. So she thought, the wisest thing to do with the Kardashians being so hot would be to release a tell-all book with the diaries from the father, in which she owned and has possession of. However, the girls found a way to make it their own cause, as they do with everything. I mean, it seems if you go to TMZ, they own TMZ practically, and Us Magazine. But at the end of the day, all they're famous for, seemingly anymore, is either Kim Kardashian eating ice cream or food or lawsuits.
Right.
And nothing further. Their show last week, I think, did 800,000, which is not bad, but it's not great for the network, where it was pulling in over millions.
Well,
every
I
time
was
that it would air.
I was fascinated because this particular lady, all these years you've never heard anything from her, his widow, and I'd be interested to see her take on just having to watch the train wreck that's happened with the Kardashians since he died. But
Well, she slowly has been coming out leaking stuff, about them and about how Khloe isn't the biological father or child of Robert Kardashian, and that she is actually the child of Kris Kardashian's hairdresser.
Or
but
OJ.
He has been apparently off, allegedly. It's all alleged, of course, but
Everything
it's
is
a very
alleged.
interesting world.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know how it is in Hollywood. It's Holly weird for a reason, and that's why I call it that way. But, the Kardashians are definitely up for what I call their 15 minutes, and it's definitely coming to a close. And, after 9 years of this, there's only so much everybody can take. And, now Khloe Kardashian's on the front cover of every magazine. She must be loving it. My best buddy ever. I'm better looking than Kim. I'm the best looking sister now. I mean, you have all these things, and she was terrible on the X Factor. I personally thought that was my thoughts, and she was kicked off from X Factor. But it's just it's a very interesting family dynamic, and one that we all love to watch because we seem to like train wreck.
I don't know this
Yeah,
world.
that
Lohan,
that
but
is-
I love Lindsay at the same time.
Yeah. So what's the latest on Lindsay?
Lindsay's doing really good. Actually, she's getting a lot of heat because she does go out. She parties. She's
Really?
always going to be a nightclub girl.
Uh-huh.
She will. She will. I mean, she just at the end of the day, she will. And I'm doing work with her. And
I know. I didn't know if you were
You asked me a question.
No. I didn't know if we could say that you were now working with her. So congratulations.
Yeah. No, you totally can. Thank you. Well.
I mean, no, she needs someone good like you. You're my publicist for the fact that you're so good, and you're young and you're closer to her age. Jonathan, by the way, everyone is only in his 20s, so don't hate him for that. But
Thank you. Well, no.
But I
I've
think
been doing this.
no, he's an old soul, but he's in.
I love you.
I think you'd be a really good influence with her. Maybe that's what she needs, someone closer to her own age who's actually stable and got their shit together.
Well, thank you. No, I appreciate that. And my purpose of it really was to really just go in and kind of clean house because I saw all this stuff and I'm like, who is repping her? Why is this attorney always speaking? Why isn't someone putting her with foundations? She said she's going to become this philanthropist. By whom? By
Right.
what regard? In what aspect is she going to help other people and be a benefit to society?
There you go.
And that's at the point where I said, I've got to move in and I've got to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I was in contact with her attorney, and he's a little bit out there to to the left side a little bit of the house, if you know what I mean.
Right.
And but needless to say, she has the right motives. She's a wonderful, wonderful actress.
You
and
know,
I missed seeing her. I saw her when she was 16, and she needs that back. I'm sorry, Becky.
Oh, I was just going to say, recently my kids, it's Becky, watched her version of Parent Trap and Freaky Friday, and she was so adorable.
Adorable.
Just so innocent and a really good actress.
Yeah. Well, a good friend of ours, Elaine Hendricks in Parent Trap, she plays Dennis Quaid's girlfriend, the blonde, evil girlfriend or whatever. And a year a year after that, we were doing this film, Get Your Stuff, in 2000. And I remember talking to her, and she's talked about this before, but I remember saying how much I love Parent Trap, and I said, oh my God, that little girl was so amazing. And she stopped and she said, she is, but oh my God, the parents are a nightmare. And this was in 2000. And she said, it's a shame, but they are a nightmare. And so, you know, she worked with her for all those weeks on the movie. And now look what's happened. So, but, you know, I'm one of these people, I think at a certain point.
Parents are a big influence, you know.
But I think at a certain point, when you reach a certain age, you know, your parents are what they were, but you're an adult. You have to pull it together. She's had every chance in the world to redeem herself. So I have faith that you're going to help her do that and get it together. It's not your fault if she doesn't, as long as the check's clear.
Well, you know, at the end of the day, honestly, I'm doing this pro bono.
Oh, okay.
Lord knows she doesn't have any money. And I'm doing it for a month. And, you know, it's not to put my name out there, because that was one of the regards that I desired. It was not to have my name attached to her, aside from, you know, speaking to you because I tell you everything and your listeners. You know, but at the end of the day, it's more about changing her image and doing what I can. And I don't know if it's, you know, I know it's possible, but I don't know if I can do it, but I'm going to try everything humanly possible to do it, because she, out of all people, everybody deserves a second chance.
Right.
Hell, if I can come back from being infamous, from being Kim Kardashian's publicist, to being allegedly sued, to now Chris Humphries, if he would have only had come out at the time that I was allegedly being sued and said her marriage was a fraud, I'd been in the clear. But instead I had to go through months of torture, nationally and publicly.
But if you hadn't done that, you wouldn't have ended up on this radio show 2 years ago. So
I wouldn't have, and I would have never met you.
No, thank God, yes.
Nor would we be working together in any form. But I would also, it taught me a lot of lessons. It taught me really, truly to start signing contracts with people. That was one thing I never did. Confidentiality agreements, and other things that I just never, you know, respected before, because I was just so burned in the industry. And so I've always been outspoken. And after working with Lindsay, this will be my last hoo-ha, so to speak, aside from a little work with you. And then I will be done with the industry and the PR business for a little bit, and probably for a while.
Good. Well,
until I get 50. And I'm going to retire, and I'm going to release my sell-all book by the end of the summer. So
good. Good.
Very fascinating. Fun make-out sessions with Cuba Gooding Jr. and working with Tim Tebow and you know, a whole bunch of different characters that are current in Paris Hilton and private entries from Paris Hilton to and stuff on the Kardashians. It's very fascinating.
Wow.
Right.
Well, good for you. Well, you know, we'll be there to support you all the way, and you can come promote it here anytime. So, what else? We're gonna have to wrap it up because Pepper J's here, and we're gonna.
I know you guys have a full show.
Yeah. So what else? I'm trying to think too. I've been a little out of it this week on the entertainment side.
Well, Halle Berry's pregnancy is obviously very big. The Kardashians thing's been out. It's been all over the place. Corey from you have Corey's. I don't know how to say his last name. Is it Montias?
Monty?
Glee. I don't know how you say his last name, but he went into rehab, which is a big deal.
Oh, I'm too old for that show.
I don't know.
But
well,
Moncrief, I know who you're talking about, though.
Big deal, and he admitted it.
Oh.
You know, he said, "Look, I have a substance abuse problem, and I'm going into rehab." And not many people in Hollywood would admit to such and go in and be so vocal about it. So I thought that was fantastic. And then you have New Kids on the Block, who performed on the Today Show last week, and Jordan Knight, the only openly gay boy band member aside from Lance Bass, snuck off stage during a performance live on the Today Show because he had a panic attack.
Oh.
And he returned later, but he left the stage yet again. And he's been a long time sufferer from severe anxiety and panic.
I remember seeing him years ago on Oprah talking about that years ago. Yeah. That he had the
it was
anxiety.
like 4 years ago or so when he talked about that. Like, he came open and clean about, his history with it. And then now, boy bands are back, these old, like, 90 Degrees, which are some dear friends of mine. And, it's funny seeing them all come back. But, you have New Kids on the Block, and Jonathan in particular, who's very sorry and heartbroken over that. But I think it's fantastic that we have these people that are becoming outspoken for the right reasons. And, we have Ellen, who's a great ally in the LGBT community, going out and going to Australia, holding her wife's hand when she gets off the plane, and people are taking photos and screaming and going crazy. And she's on the whole show that she did in Australia, essentially, is about her and her wife and what they did.
Wow.
And so I think we're at such a great place in the world, and I'm so happy to be a part of the change and the creation of Hollywood and what it's becoming. There are some sick and scandalous things, and you have all these SWATs that are going on. I'm sure. Have you been swatted yet, Jasper?
Oh God, no. They can't find my number. I'm so famous. But yeah, I can't believe they can't find these people. That's bizarre. I guess if you use a smartphone,
they're Iranian, I guess, or terrorist.
They're Iranian? I don't know.
Well, they're Iranian, and they were terrorists of terroristic background. It's very strange, but they swatted Justin Timberlake's house, Justin Bieber's.
They've taken prank calls to a whole new level. We made prank calls as 12-year-olds. It was like,
Was it Sean P. Diddy or whatever he's called now? I heard his in Toluca Lake
right.
was...
It's really dangerous because somebody could get killed. They come flying up with a SWAT team and everything.
Well, yeah, I mean, they can go right in and start shooting because they're, they're trying to protect whomever. And so it's scary, but it's also the tax dollars of California that have to pay for it.
That's true. Well, listen, buddy, thank you, as always, for taking time to do this. I'm sorry it's kind of rushed today, but, just being on once a month now.
Thank you, and I apologize for being a bit late. I was calling earlier, but with this LA time and the new show, which I absolutely love, and I love your panel. It's a very cool show, and I'm very proud of you.
Thank you,
Ralph,
buddy.
Dara, and I'm so sorry she cannot be on tonight, but I'm glad you have Becky and you have Pepper Mache and
Pepper J. Although I like Pepper Mache is her other stage name.
I love it.
That's her stripper name. We'll have to get into that later. All right, I'll talk to you this week. Thanks so much, Jonathan.
Bye,
Take care.
Bye, Jonathan.
Nice.
Thank you, buddy.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Ralph. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, everyone. Hey, thank you. Bye.
The publicist extraordinaire, Jonathan Jaxson. All right, thank you. So here we are with the wonderful Pepper J. This is her return visit, and she's here with her team, and they are filming us as we're also being live streamed. There's cameras everywhere. Wow, this is very exciting, right?
Yes, it is.
So Pepper J, my dear, welcome back.
Jasper, my love.
Hi.
Ralph,
Pepper,
it's so wonderful to see you guys.
Thank you very much.
Becky, nice to meet you.
Ralph and I have both had the honor of being on Actors E chat show that Pepper J produces. Who was your host, Ralph?
Brett was mine. Brett
Walco. Brett Walco is an amazing stand-up, yes. Who was your host? ETN.
Yeah, Tien, who's doing amazing stuff. Yes.
She hosts Hello Hollywood. She gets 660 million viewers a day.
It's amazing.
Wow.
I'm lucky to get 50,000.
Well, that's a lot.
She does great.
Wow,
So
that's great.
Tell everyone about your shows and what we're talking about right now, the Actors E-Chat and everything you have going on at your studio. This lady does. If you thought Jason Rosell did a lot, Pepper does more.
Well, I have a good team. That's how I can do these things. Actors E-Chat is one of the 8 shows on Actors Entertainment, actorsentertainment.com, which is the sister site to Actors Reporter, which is an online entertainment industry trade magazine. And they're all part of the Actors Podcast Network. We're soon to launch Actors Radio. And on the set with Jasper Cole.
We're so excited.
On that. I can't wait. Probably this summer is going to happen.
Excellent.
Good.
And Actors E-Chat is a show that is about working people in the industry, working actors, directors, film financiers, comics, singers. And it's an amazing production because we get to really know these working actors that you don't don't usually know their name. Oh, that was so-and-so in some movie. You know their role. And it's amazing to see the reaction, the beautiful reaction to the show.
Well, what's great is when you do it, you have the live streaming and the live chat. So you're actually interacting with the fans as you're doing the show. So people tweet and email in questions. And
From all over the world. It's amazing.
yeah, it's this whole
Delightful.
technology is fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
world.
so Pepper's also an actress, of course.
Of
And-
course.
Yeah.
I
well,
mean,
you have
was
to.
born in Hollywood.
Isn't
You have
she
to be an
beautiful?
actress.
Look at your face. You're so beautiful.
Not bad for 63. I
You're
love
beautiful.
it.
Yes.
Yes. And so what's happening? What's coming up? You mentioned Actors Radio. That's going to be a new.
Right.
That's going to just be featuring radio shows
Right.
on the
exactly.
site. A new site.
Right, a new site. It'll be the third channel on the Actors Podcast Network.
Now, how did this all start for you? This whole technological, internet stuff. I mean, you seem to be you were
Right.
ahead of the curve a little bit.
I was a school teacher, public school teacher for many years, and then in about 83, I retired to teaching privately. Now I teach performance skills with my partner, John Michael Ferrari.
Who's here?
Yes, he is in the studio.
Big shout out
today.
to John.
Big shout out to John. And
Everyone, if you could see, I don't know where the cameras are,
yeah, and we
He's
teach
also a
performance-
host on
He
your-
is a
yeah.
host and a producer. Excuse me, and
I called him
we
Tony,
teach-
but sorry.
yeah, you did. But
Sorry
he
about
can
that.
change his name,
Sorry.
if it makes it easier for you, Jasper. And we teach performance skills to lawyers, skills speaking to a judge or a jury, public speakers, actors, comics, and mostly to singers.
Oh, wow.
Production skills for singers. And one day, a student was with John in the studio, and they had a question, and he said, "Pepper, go look this up on the SAG, Screen Actors Guild website." I said, "Okay, I will." And I went there, and I found the answer, but it was very difficult, very difficult. I found it deep, deep in the site. And we looked at each other, and somehow between us, I think it was his idea. It's always his idea. I have an idea, one of the craziest words I hear from that man. And he said, let's make a site for actors, just an informational site. And we ended up calling it Ferrari SAG Podcast. And it hit and was wildfire until Screen Actors Guild contacted me and said, well, you can't use SAG Podcast. I said, well, I already went to you and we have a signatory agreement that says I can. So we sat on this big table with all those lawyers and John and I and all their lawyers. And it was very nice. We came to an agreement and they said, you can have Ferrari SAG Podcast as long as it's a smaller part of a larger thing.
Oh, okay.
And by that time, we had already started doing some news for AFTRA, which is one of the unions for actors, the guilds, and also for equity for theater actors. So we somehow came up with Actors Reporter. And then the union news became really a rather small part of this
Of the
trade
bigger
magazine.
picture,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's funny how things grow and become,
So how many hosts would you say? I guess it varies, right? Between all your shows, but
Right. We have a lot of shows. We have certain hosts that specialize in red carpet. They're amazing red carpet hosts. We have other shows that, deal with teleprompter. We have great teleprompter readers for that. Danica Quinn is amazing teleprompter reader and a host in general. And then we have certain hosts for our live chat show. We actually have a permanent host for each day of the week. Unfortunately, or fortunately, our hosts are amazing. So one is Joe Sabatino, but he's the executive producer of Necessary Roughness on USA Network.
Yeah.
So when they're writing or they just started their third season, he's not so available. Kim Estes just got nominated for his role on House MD, so he's not always available.
Karis Morgan Moyer, our friend, our dear friend.
Amazing theater
She was
actress
just on
and-
tour in Pride and Prejudice.
Yes, went all over. She's
she's
amazing.
great.
So Brett Walco, the stand-up comedian, ETN.
Right.
Judith Jones, who travels all over the world in food and travel shows. Brenda Epperson, who was 8 years the lead on The Young and the Restless.
Becky, you know her from YNR. Ashley, one of the Ashleys.
remember her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's amazing. So we have our 5 hosts, so to speak, and then we have our substitute hosts, including wrestler, actor Rick Grayson and actor Kim Delgado, and I know I'm missing names, but they're all, when we first looked for hosts, we needed 4. We had more than 1,500 people look for that position.
Wow.
So we were able to get Desiree Anderson, who was amazing, Marta McGonigal, Brett Howell, and Danica Quinn were our first 4 hosts, and they're just amazing people. I'm real lucky.
So
That's great.
if
You're
someone
attracted-
wanted to reach out, are you always looking for hosts, or people contact you directly, or
People
they-
contact us all the time.
Yeah.
And frankly, I audition twice a month for people that want us to teach them performance skills.
Right.
Because we take very few
Right.
clients. And then people will come and they'll send things to us, and we look at it on a one-to-one basis. They can send something to comments at actorsreporter.com, comments at actorsreporter.com. I will not directly see that, but someone in my office will, and they'll process their request for a meeting either online or in person if they
Good.
want to be a host.
What takes a good teleprompter reader? What is involved in that?
A teleprompter reader needs 2 things. First of all, they need a lot of personality, improv personality, love of the camera, so that, in my world anyway, they don't have to stick to the script.
Okay.
So we have a weekly show. It airs every Friday morning called The Trade Vine. We have licensing agreements with the Nielsen Company, who owns Backstage and Hollywood Reporter, and with Variety. I almost said Daily Variety, but they've now
They're
gone
gone now, right?
weekly.
Except
yeah,
weekly.
They're weekly. And so we pick I pick with someone that actually lives in Utah. We pick a couple of entertainment news items that we think people might have missed, and so we put it in a script, and someone like Danica or one of ETN or one of the crew, Lacey Kay, will read it. But if they're just reading the news, that's kind of boring. So we encourage them in a very family-friendly type of way to give their own opinion and their personality. For me, Ralph, that's what makes a good reader: enunciating their consonants, making sure they're using top pitches and low pitches so that it stays interesting.
I see.
And has a wonderful personality.
Okay, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
You'd be good, Ralph.
Yeah, I was curious because I just listening about teleprompter, I was wondering how big are the words and how far is the
They're in
prompt?
Braille.
Right. They're in Braille. Da-dum-dum.
Yeah. Comedy's hard.
I was just wondering, is it easy to see in an impromptu kind of way the script that's there enough to be able to glance at some of the words and then run with that?
Because you don't want to be seen in your glasses. That's
Yeah,
what I'm getting.
exactly.
Okay, got
That's
it.
very interesting. I didn't realize you wore glasses.
I wear them to read.
Oh, I see.
He can't see
We've
you at
never
all.
read
He can't
together,
see you at
Ralph.
all right now.
I know, but see, like, and
But
I
you
can
remember how beautiful
I know exactly. Well, no, that's why you are so beautiful to me. Okay.
Everybody's beautiful to Ralph. Yeah.
No, I can see far away fine and driving and sitting in the movie theater.
Allegedly.
But reading scripts now, or just reading my notes, or reading
Right.
directions on how to microwave something,
Right.
I need the readers.
Honey,
Or-
I grab for my glasses too.
well, and I have the readers strategically placed all through the house, so no matter where you are, you can
Right.
grab some there. And I need to do it on my computer and my Android phone, because with Gmail, the print is so small.
I
and
gave up and got contacts, honey. I just gave on into it. I couldn't find my glasses too many times.
That's right.
Groping.
And on the iPhone that I have, you can actually make the font larger, so I like that.
Well, I can usually expand. It's only when it's the email in Gmail itself.
Right.
I can never open that, and the print is so small.
So small.
So that's why
Yes.
for teleprompter.
Well, I'll tell you, in our studio, some of our equipment is state of the art. We have the TriCaster 455 that we do the live
She has great
video
studio.
on. and stuff. Great video, live video. And some of the equipment is real prehistoric, but it still works. For example, we have a very large, old-time teleprompter casing, but we use an iPad for the actual teleprompter itself that's put on it. And so you're looking at a screen which has the camera behind it, so it looks like you're looking right into the camera.
Oh, great.
And you actually should be, when you're teleprompting, at least 6 feet hopefully 8 feet if you have a studio that's large enough away. That way you won't see your eyes going back and forth across the screen.
Oh, okay.
And it really gives the impression of you just speaking right into the camera.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yay.
Because they've upgraded over the years. You know, and
Yeah, they have.
you used to almost watch people's eyes follow it.
That's
The
right.
worst is if you're watching. Was it the Oscars this year? There's an award show where
and it didn't come up.
it's amazing how many actors really can improv or whatever.
That's right.
I think it was Jason Bateman. I don't remember who it was.
It was a man, and I don't think it was Jason Bateman.
But
I
apparently
remember-
the teleprompter either disappeared or froze.
Was it
but
Paul Ruddy?
I don't know. They just kind of stood there for a second. Like
Right.
I thought, really, can somebody make something up? Or
Improv is so important, not just for actors, and
For everybody.
comedians, for everyone. Public speakers.
That's why you were saying for lawyers, you
That's
teach lawyers on how to speak to the judges.
Right. I happen to also be a practicing attorney.
Oh,
Did I ever
okay.
mention
No.
that?
What?
Another subject, another day.
Okay, I love it.
But yes, someone can be an exceptional lawyer, have a lot of good things and good arguments, but if they can't relate to their audience, which is the judge or jury, because performance skills are really not only just simple techniques, but they're involved with audience psychology, and that's what John and I really teach. It's why an audience member does not want to turn away from you.
Right.
Whether you're a singer or a comic, the waiter comes up and wants to take your order, and you just don't want to turn and face that waiter because you don't know why, but you don't want to take your eyes off the talent. And
Right.
That's performance skills.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yay.
So many attorneys are.
Well, you have that, Ralph, and so do you, Jasper. I mean,
Oh,
you guys
thank
would be
you.
good at anything.
Ralph and I
you.
loved improv. I used to take it for granted. I just thought, and Becky's a great improver. We had a play together, but I kind of thought everyone improv. But then I've worked with actors where they can't.
They really
don't.
prefer the script. I like improv. I really like that in my auditions
Right.
because I like having the outline of whatever the subject matter is and then just going with it. It can be
Right.
terrifying. Like you were saying, improv is really good for for anybody outside of acting too, but it's also terrifying because you don't want any free space and you want to keep it appropriate and you want to make it you want it to seem off the cuff.
That's right.
So there is still a little bit of a skill to it. I can see why people, I mean, even guests of ours have commented on, wow, you guys are like a train. I didn't know how
Train
to do
wreck.
No.
Did they say train
not.
wreck? Oh, I'm
Not.
sorry.
But how
After you left. Sorry.
where do you guys come up with it? How do you
Right.
know? And it's like, we don't.
The love of
We
life, honey. You have
Yeah.
the love of life.
It really is true. And Jasper and I are both funny, so it just happens.
told you that?
I mean, well, our audiences
This is funny.
are over
This is
100,000
You're
Twitter
funny.
followers.
Yes,
You're
okay?
funny.
That's right.
But yeah, so
Exactly.
and we don't even if we had to script it, like
Right.
that's why for our radio show we never really
We don't even talk the day of.
well some we do, but it's
I mean,
just
not about the show.
Right.
it's just we always talk. So when we're on the radio, it's like we're just talking, But I've always had that gift.
I
of
prefer
improv.
you on the radio, actually.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
that we're TMI.
There you go.
We'll
I
save
always
this.
tell people that when they're auditioning for a sitcom, keep the improv to a minimum because that is in a very tight and the jokes and the push words are there. Unless you're asked to do it a second time, then throw a little something
Right.
in. When you're going for a film, on the other hand, I would just really go
Right.
for it because 8 out of 10 times they're going to incorporate your improv into the script, and that's
Exactly.
going to be some of the funniest stuff that's in
And
there.
that's happened to me a lot.
I'm
And
sh-
yeah,
well, you're
And
amazing.
because you've
Yeah,
done
yeah.
so much 3 cameras. But 3 camera, really, you're right. The jokes are built into the
That's
the
right.
pauses and the lines.
and the thing is, when you like you're saying, Pepper, for those sitcom auditions, as the writers are in there a lot of times, or they're watching it,
That's right.
and the words are important. And I'm a writer also, and you might say, but I mean, I'm very precise when I learned the scripts, and a lot of actors, well, I'll change a word here or there. It's really a case by case, even with sitcom. You do stick to word by word. Every now and then I'll get a grr in or okay, and they'll keep that. But I've always said their words first.
Right,
Before
exactly.
before I've ever added
That's good
in my-
advice.
It's amazing how many of your network shows you've gotten Gurr in there.
It's really funny because
especially when he plays drag.
When I watch
drag
my
roles.
reel, it is really funny about that. And Carlise was just laughing watching.
I watched it. You're like,
drag
okay, Gurr.
Yeah, I always try to get that in there. And and I don't always ask. I learned to Pepper, everything is case by case. I was working on Cold Case and I was thinking, oh God, I really would like to put Gurr in here. That would just be so. Right. And I was almost going to ask the writer.
No.
And then the director and we had such a great rapport. I was kind of like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. And it stayed.
Good.
So, and they kept it in the edit.
They hire you because they know you. They know your body of work and they know the breadth of what you can bring to a role.
Right.
And so they'll give you more leeway, or anyone like Jasper, more leeway when they know that you can come to the table.
Right. They're kind of expecting something from you, you know. And I've always been the actor that was too much so they could just wheedle it down.
What's the best phrase?
Don't
Ralph,
make a meal out of it.
Don't make a meal out of it.
Don't make a meal out of it. And I love that. It's such a great audition note. Don't make a meal out of it. Just do it. And sometimes it's hard. That's what's great about a technique I've learned, because I'm bigger than life, just to tone it down.
It's the John Lennon story. We'll do less, the director said to him. Okay, do less. Jack Lemmon says, do less. And finally, Jack Lemmon says, if I do less, I won't be doing anything at all. And the director said, yes, that's exactly what I'm looking
especially
for.
on 1 hour shows now, I talk to Ralph, because I do so many bad guys or whatever.
Yeah, you do.
You literally feel
like
you just are not even there. Like, they just literally want you to say the lines with nothing. I mean, because they figure if you have the look, you don't need to put anything on it. But as an actor, it's hard because you're
they're so wrong because they don't really understand how much you bring to that bad guy.
So there's always like, no, less, Jasper. And I'm thinking, I'm barely breathing. Literally. Less. What do you...
I guess as a bad guy, they want you to be one-dimensional.
Well, too, the camera, it took me years to figure out the camera picks up everything. Yes. So the smallest little, blink or anything is like, changes the whole performance.
Yeah.
Especially on a 1 hour where they're tight, tight in. On a sitcom, you're a little more free to do
more broad. When I've done multi-camera, I've really had carte blanche because I've just really been able to be right. It's actually, some have been more confining, but some have really allowed me to be.
They have a long shot on you. They can use that and pick up your comedy.
And I learned about camera A, B. I should have said carte blanche, not Blanche, Planet Earth. I was like, my pronunciation there. But I learned on by learning the technique of knowing camera A, B, C, and X, I was able to learn how to position my body to be covered by two cameras instead of one. So during editing, I had a better chance of being kept in the scene. Right. And I learned that on the show called Rodney, and one of the stand-ins taught me this trick. And she said, when you make your next entrance this time, when you turn to Rodney, also turn a little bit further to your left, and then camera B will get you also. And from that moment on, I retained that
It's been
technique.
Impossible to do
And
it.
you haven't stopped me since.
Well,
and on the, I'm still
go.
I'm
My
talking.
God, go ahead.
I'm still talking. Listen to him.
And on that episode, they kept all of my takes in, and I was all over the place because I knew now how to work the
And
cameras.
how did that show do, Ralph?
The show did.
Be nice, Jasper.
Yeah.
Be
The
nice.
Is
show,
the show still on? It was canceled the next week. Don't start.
About as well as you're recurring on The Forgotten. Okay.
Oh my God. Well, wait. Speaking of
Pepper, we can go back
Speaking
and
of
forth.
veterans, Ralph, we do have a veteran from Doogie Howser and Murder One. Is this Marcus Redmond? Are you there?
Hey, what's happening?
Woo!
Hey, Marcus.
Marcus is a regular member of our posse, but
I didn't even see that.
I know, I'm doing it.
Okay.
But he could not be here today. So, Marcus, please say hi to Pepper J and Becky and Ralph.
Hi, Marcus.
Hi, Marcus.
Pepper J, how are you? Hi,
Thank God,
Becky. I wish I could be down there to meet you guys and to wish you a happy birthday in person, Ralph.
Thank you, Marcus. I
Yeah,
got your
Ralphie.
message on Facebook, and I got Isis's too. Thank you very much.
We were just discussing,
Okay.
you being the veteran from Doogie Howser and Murder One, you're not unfamiliar with the set as you know. So Ralph was, I just couldn't let him go on and on. So
I could have listened.
No,
you,
we
Pepper.
love it.
Well,
So,
sometimes when there's multiple cameras, sometimes you have to position your body in such a way so that you get picked up by both A and B. Give yourself better chances of the editing.
wow.
I don't know if that was.
Thank you.
Sure,
You
that's
just
exactly what Ralph
you
was
just
asking.
learned. You just heard that. Yeah, that's great. Well, also Ralph and Marcus just are both in this new movie K11 that came out last month, right?
Yeah, and yeah,
Yes.
and this month it's going to Blu-ray,
going to
and
Blu-ray.
DVD
When-
on April 23rd.
Okay, April 23rd. It's a riveting movie
Right.
about a particular ward at the LA Men's Prison or City Jail.
County jail.
County jail. Kristen Stewart's mother
Right.
directed it. Jewel Stewart, it's her directorial debut, and D.B. Sweeney and Goran Vishn.
Goran
But Ralph,
Vishnik.
did you get to wear orange?
Well, actually, they did. Sarah Tross, the wonderful costume designer, was able to tint some of my fabric, so it's kind of a tangerine. She stayed very authentic to the fact that we were in jail and we only had limited resources to make our outfits. So she actually made our outfits with fishing wire or things that you or not thread, not fishing wire, dental floss.
Fishing wire.
She used dental floss to sew our costumes to make it really authentic. And as a special treat.
Oh, wait. I'm confused. In prison garb, they use dental floss?
Well, in our
because they
outfits,
quote made their own.
we altered
The prisoners
our prison
made their own
outfits, and to do that we had limited resources.
I
So
see.
one of the resources was dental floss, and we would learn to sew with the dental
So they
floss.
provide floss. In
Right.
prison.
And
And-
Marcus,
Who knew?
Marcus, having been in jail yourself, you already knew that, right?
And the name of the movie
Oh, that's
again?
cool.
K11.
That's a perfect segue as to why I called into the show today.
Yes.
I actually have news that pertains to the show and to most of us as the team, as a lot of the listeners know. Jasper and Ralph and myself were involved in an indie project called Here and Now.
Yes, wonderful script that
and
Marcus
I just
wrote.
wanted to alert everyone that we now have begun our crowdfunding campaign for Here and Now on the website GoFundMe.com. It just went live, and it's up and it's ready to go. You'll be hearing more about it as the days continue forward. But yeah, guys, we're up and live.
Wow!
Oh, great.
Congratulations,
More
Marcus.
information about it on our Facebook page, which is Facebook.com/Here and Now Movie, or you can get more info at our Twitter account, which is @Here and Now Movie. But I just wanted folks to know that we were up, we were ready, we were running.
We're ready to take your donations and your checkbooks and your class rings and
Yeah.
what else you
Your
want
firstborn child.
Firstborn, yeah, whatever you can donate, right? It's an amazing script that Marcus wrote. We have Tara Reid and Marcus and myself and Denise Boutte, Alicia Minshew, Ralph Cole Jr.,
Luis Moncada.
Jennifer Elise Cox, who is hilarious. In fact, her husband Lee Brownstein is directing the movie. Who am I forgetting? Somebody, Marcus? I think that's it.
That's the cast, and we
Yeah.
also have the incredible singer-songwriter Chris Pierce, who's providing us with the soundtrack.
Right.
And his music is amazingly inspirational and beautiful. And if you don't know about Chris, check out his website at chrispierce.com. It is really, really great stuff. But yeah, definitely we've got a stellar cast.
The whole movie
Really
the whole movie
passionate.
takes place in Oxnard, California, at a community theater, and all these people that went to high school together come back together. They're now all 40, right? And they come back together, and you find out where they've been, what's happened in their life, and it's nice to see a movie with dialogue. It's an ensemble. It's just there's not a lot of no car crashes and guns, and I'm not blowing things up and
Nice to
fighting.
see a movie with dialogue as opposed to silent movies.
Well, as opposed to sci-fi and
chasing
and horror,
Or like
and stabbing,
MacGruber.
like the shit I
Like
do,
MacGruber. or Hansel and
the
Gretel.
stuff I do. Yeah. No, Marcus is an amazing writer.
Or
So,
Captured.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to it. Anyway, hopefully we'll get that made soon, right?
Thank you for that shout out, Marcus.
So what else, Marcus? What's your you've got your other film Unlovable that's moving forward?
Yeah, I'm working on a small film called Unlovable, which is a love story set in Charleston, West Virginia, about a young girl who was contracted the HIV virus at a very young age through a blood transfusion, and because of that, has never known love or really the real meaning of life until she meets a man by the name of Simon, who is the first person who's ever known her who doesn't know that she has the virus. So at the age of 27, she finally gets to have her first love and, really a taste of what life really is about. But the thing that worries her is what will happen when she finally has to reveal her condition to him.
And it's all going to be shot in West Virginia, right?
Yeah, it's all going to be shot in West Virginia. We're going to be casting some of the smaller roles in West Virginia as well. And it's another sort of sweet story about just love and acceptance and the art of living.
Great.
Like to say.
Fantastic.
So we had some wonderful response with that. And it's cool for me because it's, I kind of grew up watching these films that were, I don't want to say they were small stories, but they were quieter stories. They were more subtle stories. And, I didn't need like a 50-foot robot coming at me to be entertained. So I'm just trying to do my little part to.
And also, Woody Allen is Marcus's favorite writer, and he's sort of your muse in a lot of ways, right? Yeah. Minus his personal life. I had to get that in because I just can't not be a bitch. Sorry. All right, buddy. Listen, the show's gonna wind up here, so we're missing you because if you were here, you would be interviewed by the beautiful Pepper J and her crew. But we understand, and
next time. And actually, Marcus would be a really good person for Actors E.
Give
me an email introduction.
I will.
Excellent, Jasper. Great.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much. I'll be in touch, of course, this week, and we miss you. And congrats on everything.
Thank you, guys. Miss you guys. Hope to see you soon.
Say
Take
hi
care.
to Isis, please.
Okay. Bye, Marcus.
Bye, Marcus.
Bye, Marcus.
Bye-bye.
I want applause for our show.
I want to just have that follow me around, right?
I want applause. I mean, we have real applause by the audience.
Right.
You don't have very many people.
You don't have
in
the canned applause, right?
I want a can. I don't want real applause.
It's great.
Applause.
You need that canned applause.
Yay.
Absolutely. So anyway, it's been it's amazing because we were used to doing this show every Friday, and now that we've just been doing it once, we're just doing it the first Sunday in every month right now because I've been busy. Thank God.
You have. Thank goodness.
But I miss it. We got to get back to every week.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't we? Because I really miss. I don't think I see you otherwise.
Exactly. And yeah, that's true.
And I never see Becky.
I know. Once a blue moon.
Yeah. So we're going to make that happen.
Do moons actually go blue?
They do, I think.
What is that expression? Now, Becky has the best Southern expressions.
Ask Andy.
Haven't seen you since Heck
Was a Pup.
Haven't seen you since what?
Heck was a pup.
Oh, Heck was a pup.
And my
Tighter
hair,
than Dick's Hat Band.
and my hair looks like the goat,
Goat sucked it.
Oh, we were just watching last night that video, Taylor Swift with the goat. Have you seen that where she's singing?
Oh, yes, where the goat's laughing.
Slapping.
Sounds just like a person, doesn't it?
Because when you say
Have you
Taylor
heard that?
Swift and a goat in the video,
yeah.
it's a little
No,
scary.
you know that song Trouble that she does? And you don't know her music.
You'll laugh on the way home.
See,
though.
I know music now
Through your kids?
through my 13-year-old that I would never have
I know.
listened
See,
to.
we
It's
both knew. And I didn't
all
know.
of Taylor's songs.
I didn't know either until somebody pointed it out to me. So we seem timely today.
Yeah, absolutely.
We seem very au courant.
Yeah, I really appreciate that because when Clay was little, I forced him to listen to K-Earth, and he knew all the songs from the 60s and 70s, and now he's jerked me into the
Is he still
present.
singing? Is Clay still singing?
He's not taking that
guitar
right
and
now, but he
everything?
still picks it up and does it. He in fact, he played at school the other day. They had a volunteer appreciation breakfast, and he played the guitar while other people sang to those of us who volunteer our time
love
at
it.
his school.
Nice.
And playing baseball still?
Oh, he
Yeah.
is. He was in a tournament in Riverside this weekend, and he plays on 2 teams,
Wow.
and he's an encyclopedia of baseball. This kid who couldn't throw from short to first until he was like 11, and then It clicked, and that's what he does.
Wow. Good for him.
This is a kid, when he was little, he got hooked on the dinosaur thing.
Yes.
And he knew every dinosaur, the name.
At 2 years old.
He was 2 years old.
So
I'm not kidding. He could pronounce it, spell it.
We went to the Natural History Museum when he was 2, and he looked at a skeleton on the wall, and he said, Coelophysis. And the curator, or whatever they're called there, just looked at me, just dumbfounded. This kid that should barely be able to talk is identifying the skeletons.
He was quite a little
Wow.
pissed. He still
Totally
is, but that was
Can I brag for a minute?
Yes.
He's going in the 9th grade, and he's going in with honors.
oh my
so
god.
nice.
Congratulations.
Just when you say he's in 9th grade, I
you
cannot.
should see him. He's 5'8".
Wow.
He just shot up. It's
amazing.
unbelievable.
Wow.
They
You
grow
blink
up.
and they grow up.
Oh, yeah.
My
You
baby's 46 and I have grandchildren.
Oh, wow.
And how can that be when I'm only 35?
There you
Right.
go.
No,
That's
it's
Another,
amazing.
it's a miracle.
It's a
That is
miracle.
a biological miracle. I'd like to take this time for you to do our shout outs about our sponsors.
Where we're going to talk about our sponsors, thanks to Dennis Terone Artworks, who, by the way, big shout out to Dennis Terone. I hope you're feeling better because you've been a little under the weather.
Feel
Get
better,
well soon,
Dennis.
Dennis.
Imagine
Miss you.
That Productions and Wayman Productions. And everyone, please go to our website, onthesetwithjaspercole.com, Facebook, On the Set with Jasper Cole, and Twitter, On the Set W Jasper. We just hit over 140,000 Twitter followers. So
Wow.
thanks to all you.
You guys
followers.
are great,
Yes.
Planet Earth. Thank you for supporting us and listening to what I have to say.
That's
Thank you.
wonderful.
We have to say.
What-
Sorry.
Oh. Wow. Yeah, I
The
won't be.
Coles. It's the Coles.
Well, it's the
Is that
Coles.
you-
Coles.
Well, that's how we did it last month because Jasper was shooting in Mexico, so I did the show. So I clarified. I let everybody know at the beginning of the show the reason why you're hearing me so much at the beginning is because Jasper is not here.
Right.
You know, so
he did
from
a
one
great.
cold
He
to
did a
the
great
next.
job.
I'm sure he did.
It was weird being in Mexico City listening to my own show.
Yeah.
Right.
But I wrote them and I said, God, I'd listen to this show even if my name wasn't on it. It was very good. You
We
guys
had
did a
fun.
great
It's a
job.
great show.
We really
You guys
had fun.
Yeah.
And we're so looking forward to being part of Actors Radio. So I want to
I'm looking forward to its launch.
thank you,
Yeah,
Pepper
thank you
J,
for that,
for
Pepper.
joining us. and-
I like your new nickname, Pepper Mache. I want to
I
keep
like
that.
that.
Yeah.
That's very cute.
Is
I
it-
should do that.
Wasn't that a pop singer at one time? Pepper
Oh,
Mache?
I don't know,
We
but
can
I like
Google
it
that
for
later.
I like it for Pepper.
It would be a good drag
That was
name
from
for
Jonathan
you.
Jaxson.
Yeah.
Or for Pepper.
Next time I play a madam in a movie, I'm going to ask for that.
Pepper
movie.
Pepper
Mache.
Mache.
Role
Very.
name, yes.
Well, Becky Canady, thank you so much for coming in
Yes,
and playing
thank
with
you.
us.
Thank you for letting me hang with you guys.
Oh,
it was so
it's
much fun.
Yeah, it's so much fun having you.
And good luck with
She is a novelist extraordinaire, guys. Listen to her book again one more time back.
Just as I am, not to be confused with Billy Graham's. Just
Okay.
as I am. His autobiography.
You don't look like him at all.
nothing against good old Reverend Billy.
nothing against
Yeah,
him.
but
Or
but
his
yours is a totally different.
homophobic son. Oh, I didn't say
Be
that.
nice.
Oh,
There we go.
oh, okay,
Oh,
yeah.
it's the wrong show to be nice. Sorry.
No, you don't have to be nice here.
I don't have to
Oh,
be nice
please,
here. Yeah,
no.
yeah.
In fact, we prefer you not be
There we
nice.
go.
But we also want to thank Jason Rosell for coming in. Everyone, remember, check out his new single, Caliente. And
Caliente.
check out jasonrosell.com and his 7,000 things he has going on. Oh, my God, right? One thing after another.
And a big shout out to Jonathan Jaxson playing with Jax today.
Yes, and thank you to Jake P. Hall Jr., and we'll keep you guys in the loop about our documentary From Pitch to Litigation, and I'll let you know what's happening with our case, and hopefully we'll be victorious and come
Well,
out.
you were on Victorious, just as a segue.
Oh,
Thank
what
you,
is-
Ralph.
Very
See,
nice,
Ralph is such a good publicist for me.
Yay.
Yeah, isn't it funny that I work on Nickelodeon?
I know.
Me of all
That
people.
shows you how the industry is changing.
I guess kids like to be scared too, right?
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much. You've been listening to On the Set with Jasper Cole, and we will be back next month, May 5th, Sunday, 4 to 6. Couldn't do it without you. Peace out, everybody. Take care.
Bye-bye, Planet Earth.
Don't miss a minute of On the Set with Jasper Cole and get the inside scoop on everything going on behind the scenes in Hollywood.